interactive way. And let us, in order to avoid disturbances, if there is anyone who wants to share or who wants to speak, kindly raise your hand through the Zoom call so that we can have full-on discussion. I once again repeat, I would like to have this session as an interactive one. I want faculty to participate in this discussion. I want faculty to debate or to defend their views or other views. So I'm expecting an interactive session. I would like to request the moderator to please help me out in this regard.
Three, four, five.
I request Ms. Lavanya to please mute on because it is disturbing the call. So before I proceed further, I would like to know my audience. You can use the chat in order to share your views. Can I have full control? Can I share my screen, sir?
Yeah, sure, madam. I'll make you the host.
Okay. So I'm using both my laptop and mobile phone. You can see me twice.
Madam, I have made you as the host.
Okay, sir. Just give me some time so that I'm joining through my laptop. And I would like to present through the laptop. Meanwhile, may I know the teaching experience of the participants, please? Can you please type in the chat box?
I request all participants to follow Madam instructions. I request participants to follow Madam instructions so that the session will be fruitful. Thank you.
I'm sure you might have had some exposure on experiential learning. I think this FDP was started since yesterday, and already you all had attended one session on experiential learning. So I'm anticipating you have some exposure about it.
Recording in progress. नहीं गा रही।
I hope you all can see my screen. Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So as you all know, today I'm going to speak about the challenges in experiential learning that faculty and students face, and what is the gap that exists between both of them. If the faculty is implementing experiential learning, uh, what are the reasons that they are not able to do it effectively? What faculty perceive and what students perceive, that is what we are going to discuss in this session. So I would like to request Ms. Soumya. Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, hi, ma'am. Can you please tell me, according to you, what is experiential learning?
Ma'am, experiential learning is somewhere we are allowing our students to go through what they are actually learning. It will give them a chance to understand and reflect and also critically analyze the learning material and will have a kind of living experience.
As rightly said by Soumya, ma'am, experiential learning implies learning from our own experiences. Does experiential learning, ma'am, my question again to you. As I said, we will be interacting. So does experiential learning is only restricted within a classroom, or it can happen outside the classroom?
It can happen anywhere, ma'am. It depends on the context which the learner is trying to understand a content. For example, like if it's something related to a laboratory experiment, then it should happen within that context. Like they need to see the tools and things like that. If they can practice it outside or implement it among the community, it should happen outside. So I think there is nowhere we can restrict the settings where an experiential learning is going to happen. It can happen anywhere. That's what I believe.
Well said, ma'am. Well said. Can I have Dr. Ritu Singh? Hello, Ritu, ma'am. Is Rajni ma'am around? P. Rajni ma'am.
I request participants, madam, want to interact the session with the participants so that so madam has some idea to share and practical things about exponential learning. Please do cooperate, please.
Can I speak to Khushbu ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you, ma'am. So, ma'am, can you share any of your experience where you have learned something out of it? You can share any of your experiences where you have really learned out something out of it, some lessons out of it, or some idea from that experience?
Well, I think it can happen anywhere. Even even a single second of an experience can give you a learning of many things.
Okay, I would like to give my own example.
Okay.
When I was teaching MBA second year students, I went, I joined the college in third semester. So I was really new to the class, to the students. And as you all know, they were already into their third semesters. So they were the seniors, okay, of that particular, year. And when I wanted to take the class, I have observed that, see, that class, it had about 60 students, 60 plus students actually. Now, when I wanted to teach them some concepts, actually, I was dealing this course called Innovation and Technology Management, and I was trying to teach the students. Maybe because of things like I was new to them or they are not used to my teaching style, no one used to really respond. No one used to really participate in discussions. They were all busy in their mobile phones, irrespective of several warnings and requests. There was no change. Then I thought, okay, what can I do to grab their attention? They were always sticking to their mobiles. So I thought, then I came up with the idea of having ICT involvement in classroom teaching. I have asked students, okay, from onwards, you're not going to use. I will not say that you won't use your mobile phones. I want all the students to display their mobile phones. So all of them have displayed their mobile phones. And I started slowly giving them some exercises which made them to Google some topic, and I asked them to share their views, what they have learned. So slowly, the students mingling with the faculty. They started involving in the discussions. So what I wanted to say through this example is, when we go through some experience, we try to, okay, reflect on that experience. Okay, what is happening, what is going wrong, how can I correct the situation? Then after reflecting, what do you mean by reflecting? As it is, as this particular diagram shows, the first step is concrete experience. Here is where you go through an experience. For
Ma'am,
example,
screen
in
is
my
blank.
example, I was
The
trying to
screen
teach
is
the
not
students.
visible.
Ma'am, screen is blank.
Screen is blank. Is it visible now?
No, it is not.
Sir, sir, can you please open the PPT in your desktop and start sharing, because I think there is some problem with my system.
Okay, madam. You want me to share your PPT?
Yes, sir, please.
Yes, madam, I do it.
Can you please go to slide number 2?
Which slide, madam?
Second slide, sir. Can you please run in slideshow mode?
Is it okay, madam, now?
Uh,
You want to move to another slide?
no, sir. Please stick on to the same slide. Okay. So as I was discussing, I just quoted my example where I was sharing my experience with students. So here you can see the cyclic process of experiential learning. So the first step is concrete experience. So an individual will undergo an experience. Here I was experiencing how students were not being responsive to me. Then I reflected on this experience, which is meaning I was recollecting what was happening. And after I revisit that experience, now the third step is abstract conceptualization, where after reflection, I am drawing some insights out of my experience. And here I am trying to build some ideas. Here in this example, what idea I have built? I thought of involving students where they will be able to use their mobile phones during classroom discussions. So this is the idea that I have got, which is in step 3, abstract conceptualization. And I have implemented this idea in the fourth step, which is active experimentation, where I'm implementing this idea and I'm seeing the results of it, where I'm again eventually having one more experience. Now, as you see, this is a experiential learning is a cyclic process. It doesn't end at one stage. All our past experiences, they stand as a base for new experience. So coming back to the meaning of experiential learning, as rightly said by Ritu ma'am, it is a process of making meaning from own direct experiences. Now my question to the audience is, can all experiences lead to learning? Please move on to the third slide, sir.
Is it okay? Another slide?
Third slide, sir.
Okay.
Sir, I'm still seeing the second slide. It has not moved to the third slide, sir.
You want to move another slide, madam? Next slide.
Yes, sir. Third slide. Can participants tell if they are able to see the third slide? Next slide, I mean.
No, it's still the second slide is showing.
Yes, sir.
Okay, madam.
No, sir.
It is going forward or backward, madam? Now,
It's not going anywhere, sir. It's just in the second slide.
actually, I have moved to 4 to 5 slides actually.
Here it is not visible, sir.
Maybe, sir, you can stop sharing the screen and restart. It is stuck, it seems.
Done. I'll do it.
I request the participants to please take a pen and paper. Meanwhile, I'm going to have little exercises. So I request the participants to please take a pen and a paper and participate in the discussions. I can see Soumya ma'am being a active participant in this session.
Now visible, madam?
Sir, it has gone to 8th slide. Can you please go to 3rd slide, sir? So my question here is to the participants, does every experience lead to experiential learning? Anyone can share their views and ideas. Does every experience lead to experiential learning? We have Raghavendra sir in this session. Soumya ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. May not all the experiences can be productive. I don't think so. Depends on how much they are actively participating, especially in the classroom. Like, for one example, is something like when we ask the students, is it clear to you? They all nod their head. But if we ask a specific question, then we see like they are struggling to answer. So may not be all the experiences to be productive, I think.
That's true, ma'am. As you have taken the example of students itself. See, when we take the class, all students will be looking at us. And we can easily make out who is actually listening and who is, pretending to be listening. As you rightly said, not every experience lead to experiential learning. Why? Because if I have to learn from that experiences, I have to be actively involved in that experience. I have to take active participation in that experience. For example, you take the session itself. Here, I'm trying to discuss the challenges that faculty and students face in experiential learning. I'm seeing about 21 participants, but only few are being really involved in this, in this particular experience. So coming back to our question, does every experience lead to experiential learning? No. Unless the learners actually involve in that process, they try to grasp something out of it, then only the experience will lead to learning. If you go back to the cycle that we have discussed, the first step is concrete experience. Here we are experiencing something. Second is reflection. Reflection is the key step in experiential learning. Unless you reflect on your experience, you're not going to gain anything out of it. If you have to reflect, you have to actually involve in that experience. So in experiential learning, the major or key elements are active involvement, reflection. So unless these two things are being are being involved, you cannot take learning out of that experience. Now, as we have discussed the process of experiential learning, we are going to discuss what are the principles of experiential learning. As Soumya ma'am rightly said, the user have to be actually involved in that experience. And as I said, not only involvement, you have to reflect on that experience in order to gain some insights out of it. Can we move on to the 4th slide, sir?
Yes, madam. Move to 4th slide. Yeah. Is it visible now?
No, sir. No, sir. You have gone to principles. Please stay here, sir.
Yes, madam.
Now, what are the principles of experiential learning? In experiential learning, it wants the holistic involvement of the learner. Second thing is they have to engage in reflective process. Third and most important is experiential learning calls for self-learning. See, experiential learning is contradiction to the instructional learning. Now, when I say it is contradiction to instructional learning, let us try to understand what is instructional learning and what is the difference between experiential learning and instructional learning. In instructional learning, it is teacher-centric. It is one-way process. The teacher says something and the learner will try to seek insights out of it. So here, the involvement of learner is minimalistic. Whereas in experiential learning, the involvement of learner is expected to be maximum. And what role the faculty has to play in experiential learning? They have to play the role of a facilitator where they are facilitating the experience, the learning environment for the students, and they are enabling the students to grasp, to participate in that activity and grasp something out of it. So coming back to the principles of experiential learning calls for self-learning here. No one is going to tell you what to learn out of that experience, what is the curriculum or what is the course or what is the content. Nothing is going to be told in experiential learning. For example, if you take a group discussion, I'm conducting group discussion among students and I've given a topic and I'm asking students to debate on it. So when they actively take part in that, then only out of that experience, they are going to seek some insights out of it. So coming back to the principles of experiential learning calls for holistic involvement of learners. It calls for reflection process and it expects the learner to do self-learning. So the teacher is not going to tell what to learn, what is the course, what is the content, nothing. So the learner is going to seek some learning out of that experience on his own. Now, coming back to self-learning, does everyone seek same learning out of that experience? Need not be. If I'm involving 100 students in one activity, not every student will take same learning out of it. Each one is different. Each one have their own ideologies. Each one is coming from different backdrops. So one experience can lead to different learnings depending on the student's individuality. Can we move on to the next slide, sir? In next slide, we are going to discuss what are the different experiential learning methods that are practiced across the globe. Can I have the faculty to share some of the experiential learning methods that they use while teaching students?
Case studies,
Yes, ma'am.
case studies, simulation activities.
The participants can type in the chat box. Please go ahead, ma'am. May I know who is speaking? Is it Soumya, ma'am?
Khushbu.
Khushbu, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So
Ma'am,
you
it can be case
studies
studies, activities, simulation activities.
Okay.
Ma'am, it can be practical work.
True, ma'am.
And if a student go out for internship in a workspace, and when we take students for industrial tours,
Exactly.
so there they experience the work by themselves, and every student absorbs the knowledge as per their capacity.
Yes, ma'am. So the faculty have shared.
Research can also be included.
Sorry, ma'am.
Secondary research or primary research
Secondary research. Yes.
can be a source.
Okay. Okay. Secondary research, primary research. Any other activities that you conduct, ma'am? That the faculties conduct for students? See, any activity which involves
Role playing.
role play. Then Here in chat box, they have typed internships, seminars, assignments.
Also, there are courses at IIMs like management games wherein they play the game and during that game they strategize things how to go ahead.
Yes, ma'am, exactly. We have quiz. I'm also noting down the chat box messages. We have quiz, we have seminars. I think we have figured 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10? Yes, sir. I was about to ask you to move on to the next slide. Here I have listed down different experiential learning methods practiced across the globe. These are the methods which some methods are related to management education, whereas some methods are very generic. It can be applied in any discipline. As you see, we have group discussions, case study, project work. The students will do project work at the end of their course. Then we have trade shows. Can anyone tell me what is trade show?
Ma'am,
Any idea about trade show?
many colleges they come up with the projects wherein they have to build something, and in these trade shows they display as to how it works and all.
A bit closer. Ma'am, actually trade shows means, for example, you take marketing students. We will take
Yes,
them to exhibitions of, where some new product is being launched. So there is a huge platform provided
yes.
for the new launch for
Okay.
products, and they're having their own stalls, and we are
Yes,
sending
ma'am,
our
and they
students to
actually.
take part in that stall and just explain about the product.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes,
this
ma'am.
is trade shows. Student clubs, we have movie-based learning. Here, I would like to know how many faculties conduct this movie-based learning or practice this movie-based learning. I would like to hear their experiences.
Ma'am, I share the videos related to their topics with the students. I share the link with the students on Google Classroom, and I ask them to watch that video and give their summary in at least 5 to 7 lines.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, what do you think? The movie-based learning is effective compared to?
Yes, ma'am, because when the fact is that if we read good things, we write good answers, and if we are watching good movies, we are good content, we can speak also confidently. So sometimes it is important to show the, because when we are using audio visual channels to students, we are hitting there more than three sensory nodes there, and we are hitting more than three sensory nodes. They are grasping more if they are listening to it.
Right,
So
ma'am. Right. Well said, ma'am. Next, we have industrial visits and interactions. See, industrial visits and interactions can happen in two ways. We can ask the industrialists to come to our college and take the session, or we can take the students to their workplaces and expose the environment to the students. Moving on to the next experiential learning, which is management meets. One of the faculty have shared management meets can be used as an experiential learning by involving students in planning, organizing, team building. I mean, teamwork happens there. They try to interact with outsiders, so they have this, they can build their social skills and all through management meets. Then we have mock interviews. I think most of the colleges conduct this mock interviews, especially for the seniors, to make them well acquainted with the how actual real interviews takes place, how what are the areas where they have to improve, and how they have to work on their resume building, etc. We also, most of the faculties also conduct business quizzes, seminars. We allow students to take part in conferences. Then one of the faculty said they also conduct role plays. Ma'am, can someone tell me how role plays can be effective for the students?
Ma'am, we give scenarios to the student and ask them to create a scene with a problem solving attitude.
Okay, basically it is like this. You give a case study instead of orally presenting or formally presenting through PPT. We can ask the students to enact and give the solution out of it, isn't it, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And we also have computer simulations. For example, if I want to teach students on how trading takes place, the students need not actually buy the shares and know the actual trading process of buying and selling the stocks. I can also simulate that experience through some applications, and I can expose the students to the process. Computer simulations, we have field assignments, management games, and what is journaling? Ma'am, what do you think?
Writing.
What could be journaling?
Writing their experience in their own words, it helps the students with writing skills.
Right, ma'am. So I'm asking the students to maintain a diary. If I am teaching a particular management concept in the class, I'm asking the students to write where and how they have applied that concept in their real life scenario. Here, I am trying to connect the theoretical knowledge with the practical knowledge, where I'm also asking the students to maintain a diary kind of thing where they are writing their experiences. Yes, what is job shadowing? I think most of you might have known. When we send students for internships, we ask the students to work under them or to observe the subject matter expert or the senior most professional in that area, just to learn the work. They'll be following or they will be assisting the senior people in the workplace, and they are also going to learn the work. Next, we have intercultural interactions. Most of you might have known about student exchange programs where we swap the students between the universities. We are, suppose if the swap is happening between the countries, foreign collaborations, there we tend to see, intercultural interactions. We'll try to know what is their culture. And if we are exposed to suddenly some foreign culture, what we are involving in that experience, and we are trying to grab something out of it. So these are the different experiential learning methods that we practice in our day-to-day life. Now, moving on to the next question, I would like to know what challenges that faculty face in experiential learning, as most of the faculties have minimum 2 years of experience. I would like to request the faculty to please write down their challenges that they face while they are trying to implement experiential learning for students. What challenges do you face? What are the hurdles that you come across? See, when you take the national education policy, they are stressing on, bringing experiential learning for students. So nowadays, experiential learning is becoming mandatory slowly. The governance bodies are also stressing on it. So as a faculty, what challenges you face? Rajesh sir, can you please run the PPT in this mode, slideshow mode, because the answers are very much visible.
Now, okay, madam?
Haan, sir.
Now, okay? Right.
No, sir, it is still.
I have moved to next slide, actually.
No, sir, no, don't move to the next slide, because I want the faculty to come up with their own. Please go back.
Yeah.
Please run in slide share mode, sir. The participants are able to see the challenges already. I want the participants to come up with their own challenges. Are you able to do, sir, or shall I do it?
Now, okay, madam?
No, sir.
You're expecting me to show this or full-fledged full slide, actually?
Sir, we have this option called view in slide share mode at the bottom.
Yeah,
Can you please run in that mode?
slide sorter, you are asking? This one?
No, sir.
Yeah.
Slideshow, sir. Slideshow mode. You can run the PPT in slideshow mode. Okay. Sir, can you make me the presenter?
Full slide, sir. Full slide.
Sir, on top also it is written on the ribbon, blue ribbon, home, insert, design, animation, slideshow. Even from there also we can run the slides.
Madam, and on top, new share is there, annotator.
Slideshow, sir. Next to insert, design, animation, slideshow you can see there on the top part. Not there, sir. Now you can see home there, no? Next to your arrow. Next to home, insert option is there. Like that. The fifth one is slideshow.
Yes, I have clicked the slideshow. Now, what I need to do now? Set up a slideshow. Now,
Sir, can you make me the presenter? Can I try from my end?
0029. I think already upload is there. You have to can come back.
Meanwhile, the participants can start typing the challenges that they face. I see Ritu ma'am typing distractions of smartphones, students' hesitancy.
ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವ್ರ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಎರಡೇ ಕಾಪಿ ಇರೋದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾಪಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪೇಜ್ ಇದೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಎರಡೇ ಪೇಜಸ್ ಬೇರೆ ನೋಡಿ ಸರ್ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಹೇಳು
So can you check that Pushwant? Actually, yesterday you told that he is not registered.
Rajesh sir,
Pushwant
yes, madam. Yes, madam.
yesterday he
Can you
there
please
no
make
stand.
me
He will submit after.
Done now, sir?
Ah.
Okay.
Actually, I given host, madam. I have given host option actually.
I'm not able to share.
Can I know the?
Can you stop sharing?
Don't mind. BBA expert. How many are there?
Can you stop sharing?
Only Sunday
Yeah.
is there. Because he's having due actually.
Can you try from your end, madam? Can you
Yes,
try
sir.
from?
All aviation.
All Sundays, sir. Sundays is there.
I hope you all can see the.
Yes, yes, we are seeing, madam. We are seeing.
Because of some problem is there. That's
No.
all, sir. Remaining all the
Aviation are there.
except the Sundays.
I would like to request the other participants to please mute your mobile. Yeah, thank you so much. After 5 minutes, we'll start discussing. Meanwhile, I want the faculty to please note down the challenges that they face to facilitate experiential learning for students. Okay. Khushbu ma'am or Soumya ma'am, can you please tell me what are the challenges that you face? Because only these two participants are being active.
Ma'am,
Yes,
ma'am, I
madam.
think, can I now speak?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. You are very much audible.
Ma'am, I think applying of skills and knowledge can be a problem because we learn many things, but to where to apply, how to use those skills and knowledge might create a problem.
Applying of skills and knowledge. Ma'am, how it will stand as a barrier for faculty?
No, I am telling from students' point of view.
Ma'am, we will discuss in faculty perspective what faculties
Okay.
they face.
Okay.
I
Okay,
think
ma'am.
finding suitable experiences or the task. Maybe some subjects are quite easy to find such tasks. For example, if we teach certain theories, it will be difficult. So suitable task or experiential task, finding it out will be little problematic. And if we really want to provide them this kind of industry connect, field visit and things like that, getting financial assistance, support, that all are challenging, and managing especially if the class is quite large, like 50 plus 60 plus students, and arranging the trip, managing things like that, the logistics part will be also little difficult. And
This is the work that there is on the
Radha ma'am, could you please mute your call? Because Soumya ma'am is sharing her views. I request Sujata.
Yes. You are working in all that like that only, not really.
Soumya ma'am, please continue.
Not applicable for me.
I think, ma'am, in my experience, like sometimes when we
because of her son is staying alone. So
Rajesh sir.
Shahnaz ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, you are the host. You can mute the Sujata ma'am. So you have the.
already she's doing from
Ma'am, I'm unable to
joining here.
Sujata, because it is not showing me that option here. All I can see is pin. I can pin Sujata ma'am, but I'm not able to mute her.
The admin can mute the other participants and can allow or disallow the participants to speak. That way, maybe Sujata ma'am forgot that she's on unmute.
Yes. I'm doing the process actually. That option is not getting. We'll see.
Okay, we'll go back to the discussions. Sorry, Soumya ma'am was saying that,
Yes, ma'am.
you know, some
yes, ma'am.
courses might not necessarily demand the usage of experiential learning methods. And she was also mentioning about the financial assistance problems might arise, especially when we want to facilitate for larger group. Any other thoughts and views? Raghavendra sir? Ritu ma'am?
The major problem I see with my students that they are easily distracted by the notifications on their smart devices, and it is a bit challenging to ask shy students to take participation. It takes a lot to push them to give them courage and confidence that even if you fail in this activity, it doesn't matter. This is a learning process. Nobody is getting any kind of prize here. And the current trend I'm seeing that students do not have that curiosity level. They do not practice self study. They do not practice asking questions. So if that is then the curiosity, when the question asking habit is developed in a student, it ensures to a level that they will learn something every day.
Exactly, ma'am. Nicely said. Any other faculty would like to share their views? Okay. So the challenges that I am going to discuss now, these are the challenges that I have obtained after interviewing about 76 faculties from various colleges. These are the faculties who are working in different colleges from different states. And these were the faculties who were having a minimum of 5 years of experience. Now, as you see, the major faculty challenges that faculty face, as some of you have rightly said, is student lack interest. Whenever faculty wanted to conduct some activity, they don't have interest to participate. That is a major obstacle that I think most of you might agree with me. These are the major obstacle for us, followed by lack of professional training for faculty. Some of the faculties we are not trained, or we are not exposed how to conduct such events. Then lack of time due to heavy workload. As faculty, we all have our own academic commitments. We have to run behind the completion of syllabus. Apart from syllabus, we also have the clerical or the desk works that we have to, or the paper works that we have to chase. So due to various work priorities, we are not having sufficient time to conduct experiential learning. Now, why we are not having time for conducting experiential learning is, see, experiential learning, if we have to conduct properly, it has to be done in a planned way. We cannot randomly conduct a role play for students, but instead we have to tell them in advance that, okay, students, we are going to have some activity, and these are all the rules and regulations, and this is the objective of conducting that event. So we really need some extra time for planning such activities. The next challenge that we face is lack of support from our own management. For example, one of our faculty said they are not getting the financial assistance. So if I have to take students for some industrial visits, the management has to support me with the money, or the next challenge is the courses are not demanding the usage of experiential learning methods. And one more challenge is the faculty, they themselves are not having interest to conduct such activities. See, not all might show same level of interest. A few might just come and go, just focus on syllabus. Whereas you see some faculties, I think most of the faculties who have registered for this workshop, I'm assuming that you're all inclined towards conducting experiential learning. And I'm sure you might have had your own colleagues where you might have observed, they're not very much inclined to it. They just rely on lecturing method. They just come to class, deliver the lecture and go back. So because of the various challenges like this, the faculty are not able to conduct experiential learning effectively for students. Now, among these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 challenges, what are the major challenges that impact or that hinder the experiential learning implementation is the first and the major factor is students' interest. Do you all agree with me? Because it is the student who has to involve in experiential learning. If he himself is not showing interest, then how can I facilitate experiential learning for them? So the first and foremost major factor the challenge that faculty face is students' lack of interest. Now that we have discussed the faculty challenges, let us move on to the challenges that students face. You might be surprised, even the students face challenges to participate in experiential learning. Can you guess what are the challenges that they face? Or when you were studying during your study time, when you yourselves were students, what were the challenges that you faced? Or if you had interacted with any of your students, or if you have observed any of your students, can you tell me what challenges they face? Can you think and share your ideas, please?
Ma'am, can I say?
Yes, ma'am, please go ahead.
Um, The student needs to be aware that what tools or what options or resources are available for them to use. The major reason I find that is unawareness about the resources available for them. For example,
So lack of awareness.
there is a computer lab in the office which has a 24 into 7 Wi-Fi, and but student says but and when we ask a student to create their assignments and complete their assignments, and we ask them to come to college, use the lab is established for you only, you need to come here, all the tools, all the softwares for analysis are also installed in the lab. So either they do not know, and sometimes they are unwilling to come to the computer lab. They want some environment where there are more laid back attitude, because in college lab they have to stay in discipline, they can't talk to their friends, they have to maintain silence. They need a place which is familiar to them to complete their assignments, but all the resources cannot be available in the home. Library and lab is available in the college only, where you can get all the books, where you can get all the devices there with all the connectivity. So sometimes the students are shy also ki, how much time period we can utilize it. For example, IIMs have this facility of 24 hours library and 24-hour lab, but sometimes local colleges do not have that facility. They are only functional between the office hours of 9 to 5. So sometimes that is also one of the lack of resources is felt by the student here.
Yes, ma'am. As you rightly said, lack of awareness, lack of resources. Then I think Nagamani ma'am, she has also typed some of the challenges that students face. We all might have seen where students are very shy, they don't speak, they don't talk, they don't take part because of this shyness, because they are inferior. They assume that, okay, the other students, if I open my mouth, oh my God, the other students will make fun of me. I might go wrong, isn't it?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
they just assume the others to be superior, and they assume themselves to be inferior. They don't have confidence. That is what Nagamani ma'am has shared. She also said speaking in English is a major obstacle for students, because we all know our mother tongue is not English. So yes, that is also a major barrier. Next, lack of confidence, lack of commitment. Agreed. Any other challenges that you perceive students face? You may type, madam. You may type. I think we have one more. Any other thoughts and views? Okay. So the major challenges, as a faculty, we also face challenges to conduct experiential learning. Even the other side, the students also face certain challenges to participate in experiential learning. Now, what are their major challenges? One of the most important challenge that they face is lack of motive. When I interviewed some of the students, they say, I really don't understand why faculty conduct such activities. Some students said, our faculty, when they have to engage class, they randomly conduct the activities. I don't understand what is the purpose of conducting such activities. That student literally said, it is a waste of time. Why should I participate in that activity? Or what is that I'm going to eventually get out of it? So such ideologies will arise when there is no motivation for them to participate in such events. So one is lack of motivation. The other one is self-doubt. As one of the faculty said, they are shy, they're not confident, they don't open their mouth, they have a lot of inferiority complex. Then the third major challenge is learning style mismatch. See, when we have a group of students, not everyone is inclined towards, group activities. Some might want to do activities individually, whereas some might want to, mingle in a group and take part, or some might want to restrict to just writing down and submitting the assignments, or some are okay with sharing their views and thoughts openly in group discussions or in seminars. Some might be really good in writing. So what I wanted to say is each student have their own learning styles. When I ask the student who is very shy to speak, he might not speak. But if you give some assignments where they have to do some research, like secondary data research, and if I ask them to submit any such assignment, they will be really good in that. So because of the learning style mismatch, the students would not be able to take part effectively. And then the fourth challenge is peer pressure. You might have seen in students, when students will be having their own groups and gangs, and they will behave according to their friends. If their friends are very active, they will also try to take part. If they are happen to be in a group where their friends might not appreciate, or though they might make fun of the students, oh, you want to take part in that, oh, you're going to present in seminar. If suppose that student wants to give name in one of the, for example, I'm asking to students to give seminar on one particular topic. So the student might be hesitant to give his name because he's thinking what my friend will tell, or my friend might make fun of me if I take part in such activities. So basically, the peers pressure also is playing a key role on student participation. Then we have cultural pressure. See, we all come from different cultures. Some students' parents might not be okay with, if I want to send my students on field visits, or if I want to send my students for internships, they might have to stay there. They might have to be away from their work areas. They might have to stay in unknown places, unknown circumstances. Not every family will be okay with it. Not every cultural backdrop will appreciate it. So because of their cultural backdrop, some students might not be open to such, activities. Next, coming to the next challenge, which is assessment concerns. When I spoke to a few students, they say that, ma'am, there is, our faculty, they just give marks to the students randomly. There is no specific guidelines which are being set, stating that, this is how the evaluation is going to take place. For example, if you take the seminar, I'll ask the students to give seminars. I might give ranking to the students based on my opinion on them. So here the students are sharing that the faculty are not being transparent about their evaluation criteria. They're not informing us. They're just being biased. So I feel I'm not being evaluated correctly, because of which I don't want to take part in such activities, because the proper rules and regulations are not being laid out with respect to assessments. Next is lack of support from faculty and management. See, the students, faculty are thinking that students are not having interest. Whereas the other version of this of students is the students are also thinking that they are not having support from faculty and or management. One of the few students said, "Madam, not all faculty show interest to conduct such activities. Not suppose if I want to conduct some event in my college, I have approached my faculty. Faculty said, no, we don't get enough support, financial support from management. I have also went and spoke to the principal. Even they were not supporting us. As faculty perceive, students are not having interest. Even the students are also perceiving that the faculty or students or the management, they themselves are not supporting us. So that is the one more challenge that they face. Next, we have is time constraints and financial constraints. Time constraints. Some of the students said, "Ma'am, we are so busy in our day-to-day academic life. We have to attend classes, back-to-back classes, and after coming home, we also have some assignments which we need to submit. In one day itself, we have multiple assignments that we have to chase around. We have internal exams, we have external exams, we have so much of things happening around, and we don't really have so much of time to take part in such activities." So that is what they share. And next is financial constraints. As you all might agree, um, not every time the institution is going to provide financial support. Sometimes the students also have to bear some financial burden from their side also. So if you see students, for most of them, the guardians or parents are sponsoring for their education. If I see, you take the example of my own institute, we are having internships for every semester. Now I'm asking students to do internship at the end of the semester, where they have to bear their own expenses. In such a cases, I am receiving complaints from students, ma'am, we have to bear so much of cost. It is coming around 20,000 bucks every semester. And apart from our own tuition fee, we also have to, spare extra amount for it. So they are also not okay with, spending extra money out of their pocket for experiential learning activities. So as faculty have their own challenges, similarly, students have their own challenges, like I have discussed. Now, let us try to discuss, or let us try to bridge the gap between faculty and students. Let us try to compare the faculty challenges with students' challenges. Now here you can see the comparison. Now, since we are running out of time, I would like to take this session a little faster. Here you see the left column where I have placed all faculty challenges. Here in the right column, I have placed all students challenges.
Ma'am, the PPT is not at all moving. It's still in the 7th slide.
Okay, let me stop sharing and I'll share the screen once again. I think this will work out. Can you all see, please?
Yes, madam.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now you can see the comparison between faculty and students' challenges. So the faculty are stating that students are not having interest, whereas the students are stating that faculty are not supporting this. Now, what could be done in this regard? See, in order to draw students' attention, we have to create motive for the students to take part in that. Now, what kind of motives can we create? I think seminars, for some of us, seminars are included in our curriculum. We give certain credits to them. So students are well aware that if they participate in seminars, some credits will be allotted to them. If you take project work, yes, credits are allotted. Okay, they know that if they do the project work, some credits are going to be allotted for them. So how can we create motivation for them, for students to take part in experiential learning? Number one, we have to include more experiential learning methods in our curriculum. We have to give weightage for those activities. And we have to set assessment guidelines, communicate clearly to the students, stating that this is how we are going to evaluate. These are the criteria based on which we are going to evaluate your performance. So like this, we can create motivation for the students to take part. And we can also, not only the credits that can be shown as a motivation, we can also tell them that how this experiential learning can help them in achieving their career objectives, how experiential learning can help in building their employability skills, by proper communication and by integrating the experiential learning methods in curriculum, and by allotting credits, we can create motivation for students such that we can draw their attention, we can draw their interest, and we can make students to be more active in experiential learning. Now, coming back to one more challenge that faculty have shared, that students are hesitant to participate in experiential learning. Now, what are the causes? The causes are shown on to your right side, where students are having self-doubt. They feel the other students are the other students are superior to them. The other students perform well. In such a scenario, as a faculty, we have to tell them that any given class, not all students excel. If you take 100%, 100 students, only 10% will excel. Some 60% will be of moderate range, where they perform moderately. And the remaining percent will be. So we have to make this very clear to students that, you need not worry if I speak what other students tell, we should try to reduce hesitancy. For that, we can take the help of peers also. We can make some student brand ambassadors where the students are promoting the experiential learning instead of faculty. You know, if as I said, one of the major faculty that major challenge that students face is peer pressure. Now, why can't we use that peer pressure as a weapon? We will make students as brand ambassadors of experiential learning. We will ask them to promote, we will ask them to encourage their peers to take part in it. And coming back to learning styles mismatch, see, we have to customize. We mean as a faculty, we have to customize experiential learning based on their learning styles.
Please mute yours.
If the students
Remaining
are
people,
not
please mute
uh,
yours.
very open, we can go for closed activities. We can go for computer simulations. We can go for movie-based learning. Where they have to watch a movie, submit an assignment, and give it to us. If the students are more open, we can conduct some role plays. We can we can conduct some group discussions. So we can customize our experiential learning methods based on their learning styles. So by doing that, we can reduce their hesitancy of students. Next, coming back to cultural pressures, we have to consider their cultural constraints and we have to respect them. We should be always we should give that liberty and we should give the freedom to students to convey their constraints. And if they are not okay with it, we should allow them to opt out of it. We should not try to be judgmental. Okay, this category of students, this community of students are like that. No, we have to extend more support for them. We have to make them understand that yes, we are there for you. We are ready to customize the activities according to your learning styles or according to your cultural constraints. Next is financial constraint. For that, we really have to do this, taking, um, for example, if I am sending students for internship, I have to look for the sponsors who can sponsor. There are few places who will also provide a stipend to the students, and simultaneously they are also working, allowing the students to work in their areas. So as a faculty, if the students are not able to spare extra money out of their pocket, we should try to provide such sponsorship for them so that they can participate more in such activities. Now, coming back to lack of support from management, the students are perceiving that they're not getting enough support from faculty or management. First, we all agree that if we as a faculty, if we have to do something, we have to get enough support from the management itself. So the management has to come forward. They have to provide necessary support to both faculty and students. If you take faculty, more faculty development programs need to be developed, designed, involved, and the faculty should be those faculties who conduct such programs. They should be appreciated. At least some kind of recognition should be given to them, and the same should be given for the students as well. Coming to time constraints, see, the faculty are also busy in their own workload. The students are also busy with their own academic work. So what can be done to overcome these time constraints is we can plan for home assignments. We can rely on secondary research, or see, as I said before, we have to allot certain credits. We usually in our assessment, how we conduct our assessments, we just rely mostly on written exams. Instead of that, we can ask students to involve in various activities. We can allot credits for them, and we can also go for home assignments where the students and faculty both can be okay with sparing time after they go home. So by planning such activities, yes, definitely we can overcome the challenges faced by both faculty and students. So I think I would like to end the session from my end, and I would like to have any questions from the faculty.
Thank you so much, madam. Thank you so much for enlightening the session. And I would like to ask the participants for have any questions, raise your hand so that or type any question in chat box so that we'll open for the questions sometime. now we will now open the floor with questions from the audience, and of course, there is a lot of questions asked, discussion, more interactive session happened. Madam took initiation and asked more questions about it, and invited more questions from the audience. And I hope that the audience also got more information relevant to their questions. And I'll call on priority to participants. If you have any questions, please post it on chat box, or you can raise it. Any questions from the audience?
No, sir, it was a very nice and informative session.
So can I ask one question, sir?
Yeah,
Yes,
please,
sir.
sir. Please, sir. Please.
Sir, my name is Dr. Mastan. I like to know from Dr. Shahanaz, what are the good books on experiential learning?
Sir, there is a book on experiential learning written by um, Reynolds and Wins. That is one of the book that you can refer. And there is one more book, Reynolds and Wins. That is one book which you can refer. And there are a few more, one more book written by Kolb, David Kolb. He is one of the pioneers in experiential learning.
Repeat again, madam. Repeat again.
David Kolb, sir.
David Kolb.
Yes. Then there is one more book written by Stephen Moon. That is also a very good book. I think it will give you.
Okay, one request, Dr. Shahanaz, madam. One request to you. Can you refer one Indian book or an author who wrote on experiential learning? Any book?
Sir, you can anticipate me writing a book on that, because I haven't come across any Indian author.
This is where, madam, Dr. Shahanaz. Why don't you try one attempt writing of a book on experiential learning with practical your insights, maybe contribution from people like your participants. Some of you can choose some team also, and you can make an attempt. It is going to be the future. Why I'm saying this is, as per new education policy, this experiential learning relating, because experiential learning is more focused in new education policy, and why they have focused it is on building employable skills. So when the future is on experiential learning, and we also need some books written by management authors from India. So please try, madam, make an attempt, at least in a time bound.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for the suggestion.
Right, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Professor Mastan, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any other participant like to ask any question? Yeah, I think there is no more questions, I think, from the audience. Dr. G. Nagamani madam asking, ma'am, my suggestion is, why don't you go for panel discussion on such issues? Madam asking, these are the connected issues, on regular intervals, if you discuss, the solutions may come across. Like
It is
some suggestion is giving, yeah.
Dr. Rajesh, sir, this is a good idea.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Because it's a experiential sharing of a resource person on experiential learning. What Dr. Shahanaz done is also experiential sharing of experiential learning methods.
Really good, sir.
Good attempt. It's a good suggestion, sir. Panel discussions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All good suggestions, and
As an event, another event you can attempt.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
from your school?
Definitely, we are considering the views of the audience from as a admin and as a resource person, madam also taking to the things, considering the things. And as a elder professors, all solutions are definitely we are considering as an institution, as a resource person, madam also considering. Thank you. And I think there is no more questions. And
Particularly, sir, Rajesh, sir,
yes, sir.
we appreciate the organizers and
Yes, sir.
who made a attempt on giving a platform on sharing on experiential learning, because this is a gray area.
Understood.
This is a gray area.
Definitely, sir. There is a lot of gap is there.
It's a gray area because
Yeah.
many people attempt on many aspects.
Yes,
It
sir.
may be much discussed, but experiential learning is one area where limited attempts or only few people have made an attempt.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Globally also, I have gone through some cases, sir. If I want to, if you permit all audience and resource
Sir,
person,
please go ahead,
I
sir.
have gone through some kind of case studies. I have gone through some kind of articles. The contributions made in exponential learning by the eminent personalities and authors is very less. So the gap is wide. So
So there is a
definitely,
knowledge gap also.
yeah, yes, sir. Definitely, sir. Definitely. And
Uh,
very wonderful concepts and there is the theory to practice. It is exactly match the exponential learning. And I hope the definitely different kind of novelty will come from exponential learning, especially
Rajesh sir,
from
Rajesh
academics.
sir,
Yes,
I
sir.
am in Hyderabad,
Yes, sir.
and I hardly find a training program on experiential learning or a session or like a 1 week training program on experiential learning,
Yes, sir.
because uh, it should see, if you have a background, if you have an interest only, this type of new initiatives will come.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And before doing attempt as a, coordinator, I tried to find some kind of relevant the events of exponential learning FDPs. But unfortunately, I couldn't find
My
relevant
observation
FDPs
is
from.
right, I think.
Yeah. Because I did some research actually for 1 week and 5 days. I did a research from a total internet. I have gone through it.
Uh,
And I didn't find a relevant event of exponential learning, even premier institutions, tier 1 institutions, tier 2, tier 3 institutions. I have gone through it. So finally, I concluded that there is a gap is there as a coordinator. It is the right time for me to take it issues forward. And unfortunately, God helped with the good resources and all people joined together when
that too,
good
that too,
things taking forward.
I have an appreciation for all your team.
Yes, sir.
It is from Satya Sai Baba's place.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, Samskruti has become another milestone in after conducting this
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
high-speed learning program.
Thanks, sir. Thanks for your
Thank
blessings
you.
and kind
That's,
guidance, Professor, sir. And
that's
with all permission, with resource person and Dr. Professor Mastan, sir, and remaining audience. And now, can I one request? Can I all participants can you turn on the video so that we can take a photo, group photo for that, if it is possible, all audience, so that.
you are able to see, sir, that window.
I am taking screenshots, sir. Yes, sir.
Please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks, Madam Ritu Singh, Madam. Dr. Ritu Singh, Madam, you asked very good questions for the discussions you brought. Nice session.
Thank you, sir.
Very actively, Madam asked the questions and interacted
Rajesh, sir,
with the resource
still
person.
some people have not opened their video.
Please, I requesting all participants to on their video so that we'll take.
Thank
Because
you,
it's an
Ritu ma'am.
opportunity to
Thank you,
see
Soumya
one
ma'am,
another.
Yeah,
Nagamani ma'am, for sharing your thoughts and views.
Madam. Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. And 1 minute, sir. The session with formal things.
I think Dr. Nagamani madam is speaking something and maybe unmute or mute.
Yeah, we'll give, sir. Now, madam, I made madam host so that. Yes, madam, you can talk now, madam. Nagamani, madam. Dr. G. Nagamani, madam. Are you able to? Yeah. Can you unmute yourself? We are not able to hear your voice. No, madam. Something. Can you check the speakers, madam? Nagamani, madam. No problem. And just you can text it what you want to say that so that we'll understand. Dr. G. Nagamani, madam, saying right now all education institutions are facing these challenges, issues. Certainly, madam, and these issues are getting. Yeah. Nowadays it is. In order to more extensively extensive learning, we can have a panel discussion with experts. That's what, madam. That's what, madam. It is required, and it is required in BOS meetings also regularly. In universities and some autonomous colleges, they are conducting regular intervals, even in education institutions, small institutions, and colleges, any colleges. Definitely, we can come up with good ideas. Especially for reduce irregularity of the students. Certainly, madam, it will help to reduce the absenteeism in the classrooms, so that the classroom attendance will increase. So that if you mix up this all kind of methods, certainly, madam, definitely, it is very so true actually. Thank you, madam. Thanks for your suggestions. Now, with your permission, all resource person today resource person Dr. D.Shahanaz, madam, and just formally I want to close the session. Please wait. I'm turning off. Just.
Sir, today did you not share the feedback link for the today's session on the chat box?
I have already shared, madam. I have already shared.
I can't find it. Can you please share it again before closing the chat?
Sure. I'll share it. Sure. In chat box, I'm sharing once again. Now we can see now.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. And thank you for so much for the audience. And there is some key summary points I want to discuss. Madam, Dr. D. Shahanaz, madam, discussed the wonderful points about why experiential learning is needed for the faculty, especially for academicians, and especially the need of experiential learning for the classroom teaching. And madam said about many examples, and also madam said about different kind of experiential learning methods. available for the faculty to choose and explore themselves in the classrooms. So in this regard, there are so many points are covered. There are so many points. There are so many points covered. Now I take this opportunity to thanks today resource person Dr. D.Shahanaz Madam for enlightening the participants on the topic challenges in the experiential learning, bridging gap between faculty and students. I think I thank all the participants who attended this session with a lot of enthusiasm. And I thank all participants and I thanks our institution management for giving such wonderful opportunity to organize this event. All good things come to an end and every end has a new beginning. Hope that today's session would add value to your knowledge and hope to meet you in all tomorrow's session on 12th June. Resource person, Professor Dr. Mastan, former professor, Imam Abdul Rahman bin Faisal University, King Saud University, Saudi Arabia. Sir has very vast research and teaching experience. Sir is going to share the session tomorrow. And I thank all the participants to come and join for tomorrow's session. And I thank you one and all. Have a nice day. Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam. Respected sir. Thanks, all of you. With all permissions, we'll end up the session. Thank you, madam. Shahanaz, madam. Sir, thank you, sir. Professor Mastan, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We'll open for chat for some time, 2 to 3 minutes, so that the feedback link can be filled by the participants. They can fill it.